So for one more final touch on my little waffles, I want to make little pats of butter to put on my waffles. So I have some white melt and pour in my container. I'm just gonna melt that for like 15 seconds, and then I'm gonna add some yellow colorant to it. Okay, so my white melt and pour has melted. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow mica, and the one I'm using today is yellow baby duck mica. I get this through Wholesale Supplies Plus. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of yellow. I want it to look like a butter, so a buttery yellow is what I'm going for. I think that's perfect. So I have the silicone mold, and you can see they're just little squares. I think these will be the perfect size for the little pats of butter. I think they'll be just one little pat on each piece of my waffle. I think that would be perfect. And then to adhere my the butter to my waffles, I'll just use like a drop of clear melt and pour. So I'm gonna fill 18 of these, or at least 18. I'm not gonna fill them all the way. I'm gonna fill them about halfway. I don't need a big huge chunk. Alright, so I ended up making a lot more than the 18 I needed, but I had enough of my mixture, so I ended up just filling as much as I could, so that way I'll have extras for my next project. So I'm just gonna let these dry. It'll probably only take like 5 minutes, if that. So I'm just gonna let these cool for a few minutes, and I'll be back. Alright, so my little butter squares are hardened, and I think they're going to be perfect to sit on top of my little waffles. So what I'm going to do is pop all of these out. Alright, so I have my butter and my waffles, and I'm just going to melt this for like 10 seconds. Okay, so that's melted. I was going to use clear, but I had a little bit left over in here, so I might as well just use it. It's not like you're even going to see it. So I'm just going to put a little drop on my waffle, and then put the tab of butter on it. Yeah, I'll do it this way. And that way, even if it like melts off, it's okay. It'll look like the butter melted. So that'll be perfect. Alright, so all of my rectangular waffles and my circular waffles all have that little tab of butter on them. See how that turned out. Looks like the butter is melting. I love it. So those are going to be perfect for the top of my soap. The top of the soap is also going to have sprinkled sugar, which is going to be white, like snowflake glitter, bio glitter. So that'll look like a little bit of powdered sugar, and I'm also going to drizzle a little bit of brown mica, a brown mica drizzle, so it'll look like syrup on top of the waffles as well. So we have the pumpkins are made. You can see my pumpkins. I kind of fit them in here just to fit them. So that's how my pumpkins will go, except for they'll be more in the center of the soap. Then I have my waffle embeds. So now all I have to wait on is my oils and my lye water to cool down, then I can start making the soap. Okay, so my oils and butters and my lye water solution are all at room temperature. I am using the fragrance Pumpkin Pancake by Candlewick. And I know it says candles, but it's also a skin safe fragrance, and it smells unbelievably good. So I'm using this fragrance today, and this fragrance is known to discolor my soap. It'll turn it to a dark brown. So for that reason, I am using a vanilla color stabilizer in my batter, and I have it mixed. That's why it's this color. I have my vanilla stabilizer mixed with my fragrance, and I just mixed it. So I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. And first thing I'm gonna do is I have my lye water here, and I have my titanium dioxide dispersed in water, and I'm just gonna pour this into my lye water and give it a stir. Alright, now I'm going to grab my stick blender. I'm going to very gently pour my lye water solution into my oils. And I'm going to mix just to emulsion. I'm going to separate my batter into, I'm going to pour off just a little bit into 2 other containers. These are going to be my accent colors. I'm going to have orange and brown. So I'm just going to have orange and brown swirls in it. Set them aside for a second. Now I'm going to add my fragrance oil that has been mixed with, give it a stir one more time. It has been mixed with my vanilla stabilizer. I'm not putting any fragrance into these 2 colors because I don't want them to discolor. Now I'm going to mix my accent colors. I have my Adobe Orange and my Gingerbread Brown micas. Those. Now I'm going to just pour in my accent colors. Pour this one in this corner. And I'm going to scrape it out because I don't need it for the top. I'm going to be piping the top. And then my orange, I'm going to do in the opposite corner. Kind of plop it in because it's gotten kind of thick. And since it did get so thick, I think I'm going to give it just a little stir. That's good enough. aside, grab my mold. Alright, so here is my mold. I'm going to pour a little bit in for the bottom layer, and then I'm going to add my pumpkin embeds. So I'm not going to pour in too much to begin with. So I want my pumpkins to be kind of centered. Yeah, I think that's good. You can see all the colors, how that turned out. And give this a tap on the floor. Alright, so I have my pumpkin embeds that you saw me create earlier. And these are going to go, I want them kind of centered. Actually, I think I'm going to wait a few minutes just to make sure this layer is stable enough to let my pumpkins, I want them to be suspended in the center. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes or so. I think it's good enough. I think doesn't seem to be jiggling when I move it. So I'm going to start putting in my pumpkin embeds. These are my cold process embeds that I made yesterday, and I cut them out today with my cookie cutter. So I'm going to put these in the center, tight up against each other. So they're all in, they're centered in the middle of the bar. Alright, I think that's good. Now I'm going to pour the rest of my batter on top of the soap. Alright, so now I have my piping bag. I'm going to fill my piping bag with the batter. Alright, so my piping is finished. I'm going to now put in my embeds of my little waffles with the little pats of butter on them. And I have my bars, you can see where I have them sectioned off into 1-inch cuts because I cut them at 1 inch. So each bar is going to get one of the rectangles and then one of the round ones on each side. Alright, so that is how the little waffles look. I'm hoping that frosting will turn back into an orange because it's kind of looking pink. So I'm hoping it will morph back into an orange because sometimes colors go through these morph phases. So there's that, and now I just have to put my little brown drizzle. So I have a little bit of olive oil in here and a little bit of brown mica. I'm gonna give it a stir. That's gonna be my the syrup that I'm going to drizzle. So I'm going to drizzle this mica over my waffles. So it kind of looks like syrup. Just a little bit. Alright, now a little snowflake sparkle mica. I have this in a spray bottle from Nurture Soap. I want this to give it like a powdered sugar kind of look, but being a little bit sparkly at the same time. Okay, so it is the next day, and I am so pleased that my color of the soap morphed out of that ugly pink color and morphed back into a creamy color. I said in my video yesterday, I think that I wanted it to go back to its orange color, but I didn't mean orange, I meant cream, because my orange and my brown are just swirls, accent colors inside of the soap. So I'm so happy that it went back to a cream color, and now it's time to unmold and cut this and see what it looks like on the inside. So here's the final result of this Nutty Pumpkin Waffle soap. I could not be more pleased with how it turned out. This was a complicated soap for me. I questioned so many things about this soap. I questioned if I should even use the fragrance, because it does turn your soap brown. And then I questioned if the vanilla stabilizer would even work to make sure it stays like a creamy color. I questioned if I was using the right orange colors. I just questioned everything about this soap, but it turned out to be absolutely perfect. I love the little waffle embeds with the little pats of butter, the swirls around the pumpkins themselves. I'm just really happy with how it turned out. So I apologize that this was such a long video, but there was just a lot of steps involved, and I just wanted to show the whole process. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.